Howdy, folks. Live from Big Top, Chautauqua, welcome to another episode of Tent Show Radio. I can't believe another year's gone around. Is at a big top I see there high above the ground. Ballyhoo. Oh, ballyhoo. Funding support for Tent Show Radio is provided by the Bayfield Inn. Stay, dine, and relax year-round on the shoreline of Lake Superior in downtown Bayfield. Any traveler, any season, any meal, your view awaits. More info at bayfieldinn.com. Tent Show Radio is also funded by a grant from the Green Bay Packers Foundation. And we're brought to you by Bayfield County Tourism. Find out how to get in touch with your inner wild at travelbayfieldcounty.com. And here's your host of Tent Show Radio, best-selling author, humorist, and singer-songwriter, Michael Perry.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to Tent Show Radio from Lake Superior, Big Top, Chautauqua. Tonight, you want to drop a fresh set of curds in the fryer, loosen your giggle girdle, and get ready for gosh darn Charlie Berens to knock your blaze orange ear flapper cap off with the funniest cheese-headed things you've heard since Mom taught you the words kringle and strudel. The first half of the show will feature the music and stories of Charlie's pal Adam Gruel of Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. And at Intermission, I'll share a story about hanging out down to the fire hall. Folks, the show you're about to hear emanates from a special space and a special place. The Big Top is just that. A grand blue and pearl gray striped canvas beauty suitable for a circus, but in this case home to a history of live performance centered on the stage. The Big Top seats are set directly on the earth, and what a spot of earth it is, high atop a hill overlooking beautiful Bayfield, Wisconsin, Lake Superior, and those all-natural waterbound wonders, the Apostle Islands. If you enjoy that vision, if you enjoy what you hear over the course of the next hour, and if you want to see and experience it firsthand, please get to know us at www.bigtop.org. It sounds beautiful up here because, well, it is beautiful up here. You ought to come on up. Ladies and gentlemen, every now and then there comes along an artist who captures the very essence of what it is to be who you are. An artist who speaks for you as if he is you. An artist who knows his okie dokes from his holy smokes, his cripes from his criminentlies, his bubblers from his fountains. Yeah, I'm talking about old Charlie Berens, a man who expresses our inner cheesehead with all the goofy joy of our outer cheesehead. And he went on and got famous to boot. Snow boot, that is. Don't forget your snow boots. Snow boot. One word. Tonight's show is led off by Charlie's musical pal Adam Gruel, a man, as you'll hear, who knows his way around some cheese, although, as he will reveal, it's once you're around the cheese that the trouble begins. So here comes Adam Gruel, and waiting in the wings, the man who keeps her moving, Charlie Berens.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? How are you? Beautiful Northwoods night here, huh? So this is my 5th time playing at the old Big Top. Love this place. Made the trek up today, and I was all solo, so I was talking to myself basically on the entire drive, and I was like, man, I think I want to do a little road tripping around Wisconsin today. So I thought to myself, where should I go, And I decided I would go on a tour of oversized Northwoods mascots. Can you think of any in your head? Can you think of any? What's that? There's the Blue Ox. That's a good one. I forgot about that one. There is the Stormy Crow, but that's in the UP, I think, in the UP of Wisconsin. And so anyhow, I started driving and started thinking, where can I go see some oversized mascots? And by the time I got up here to Big Top, I had written a fresh song for you folks about the journey and the oversized mascots on the way. So this is fresh off the griddle, so to speak. Here's to the old Chatty Bill up there in Neilsville, the largest ceramic talking cow in the whole darn world. Folks, they've tried to tip her, but she just won't go. Now you can give her 25 cents and she'll chat off your ear holes. Anybody seen the Chatty Bell? Neilsville, Wisconsin. Here's to the old turdy pointer up there in Fight Field, a big old buck running from a truck, yet grinning from ear to ear. Folks, they try to get him, but it's just too tough. And every year after gun deer season, he needs a little touch up. Folks know that deer? You guys know that deer? I saw today they put a little Rudolph nose on him when I drove by. Here's to the monster muskie up there in Hayward, long as a Boeing 757, way taller than Big Bird. Folks can't seem to catch her until later at the bar, when they're telling fishing stories about what they've caught so far. Who knows the muskie? Anybody know that? You got a lot of muskies. That's the winner so far for sure. Here's to Sir Paul Bunyan up in Minocqua town, watching over flapjacks and all the tourists buzzing around. He's so tall and mighty, yeah, how'd he get that way? Some folks say he hate the families of the cow, the deer, and muskie. Who knows old Paul Bunyan? Yeah. You know, when you're in Minocqua, all the tourists are taking pictures of the geese, you know? Well, here's to the deer hodag up in the Ryan land, the son of all of Wisconsin's wastewater treatment plants. He's a little funky, yeah, he's a little weird, but let's be honest, all you friends, that's why we love it here. The Wisconsin oversized mascot ballad, man. So yeah, I do the thing in Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. I play in several other bands and travel around the country. And one thing has become real apparent. It's that, you know, we have a lot of pride as Wisconsinites, you know, and you go up to play in Alaska, and there's more Wisconsinites than Alaskans at the show, for sure. You get in these conversations with folks about how they're from Wisconsin, and you're drinking beers, and the next thing you know, you're kind of like in a competition over how Wisconsin you are, you know? So I started to see this pattern, and I was like, I need to prepare a story about the degree to which I'm Wisconsin. So I'm ready for these moments. You know, they catch you off guard. You've had one too many high lifes. You need to be ready. So, this is how Wisconsin I am. 21st birthday, all right? Woo, party. And like a great deal of 21st birthdays here in Wisconsin, there was plans to go out to all the taverns in our town and get lit up like a Christmas bush. And that was certainly the plan. A bunch of friends started to congregate at my house in the afternoon. This is down in Stevens Point. And, oh yeah, Old Point Town. And we all meet up and we're like, man, we can't go start partying at the bar yet. This is gonna be a real weird 21st birthday if we do that. We got to figure out something to do. Well, somebody's like, let's go to the cheese factory, right? I mean, you know, it was a Saturday. It sounded like a hoot. So we all pile in a couple minivans and blast off to the old Dairy State Cheese Factory, Rudolph, Wisconsin. And there's maybe 10 of us, and we get on in there, and man, oh man, all the cheese. You know, got in there, we're like, you know, Scrooge McDuck with the dollar signs in his eyes. We had cheese in our eyes, you know, and we get going, and there's the caraway smoked cheddar, the blueberry Munster, you know, the cheese that has the sausage already in it, you know, all the different, and things got out of control, and, you know, we left there with a several $100 cheese bill. Yeah, I feel like you all have done this at one factory or another. And so we get back in our cheese mobiles and travel on back to Stevens Point, get over to the house, get all the cheese in the fridge, and it's time to go downtown. So go downtown and do what a bunch of 21-year-old birthday friends are going to do, rage, you know, and gets to about bar time, come on home, open up the fridge. Everybody's got the drunk munchies, of course, and open up the fridge, and the only thing to eat is about $250 of cheese. So we did, and we went, and the night left, and the morning came, and boy, were we hungover the next day. Everybody slept right at the house, and we wake up, and I'm like, man, it gets to about mid-afternoon. I'm like, man, this is an abnormal hangover. This is not your typical deal. I'm feeling pretty wicked, and, you know, my girlfriend's like, you know, you partied, it's fine, you know, you'll be all right. And the day turns to night, still hurting, watch a movie, you know, still feeling the pain. And I'm telling her, I'm like, man, this is not right, what I'm feeling. Like, this is bad, you know. And she's like, you're fine, drink some water. Well, in the middle of the night, I'm awoken by a sharp, sharp pain in my abdomen. And I'm like, hey, babe, I think like I might have appendicitis, or like I drank too much and something weird happened, you know, and totally freaked out. I'm like, my spleen ruptured, babe. And she's like, you know, I say, we got to go to the emergency room, you know? And she's like, no. She's like, look, Adam, like, you partied really hard last night, and when you got home, you did eat, like, an incredible amount of cheese. And I'm like, no, how could you even say that? Like, I'm in pain. And she's like, no, you're right. I'm sorry. Let's go to the emergency room. I'm worried about you. So we go to the emergency room, and by this point, I'm curdled over in pain. And the doctor's like, well, man, we got to get you in right away for an ultrasound, you know. They needed to make sure I wasn't pregnant or that I was having a ruptured, you know, appendix, I guess, appendicitis. So I go in, I do that, go into the waiting room, and I'm just like, at this point, I'm sweating. Like, things are not normal, you know. I think both of us are pretty sure I've got appendicitis. And doctor comes in, and he looks concerned. I'm like, oh no, like, well, he goes, good news or bad news? And I'm like, good news? He's like, you don't have appendicitis. It's like, bad news? You have a massive hunk of cheese in your small intestine, and it is not gonna come out. Yeah, so, you know, at that moment, I can just feel it, you know. I look over, my girlfriend's there, and I look over to my left, and she just goes, so folks, I am so Wisconsin that I overdosed on cheese. You got Munster, you got cheddar, you got Kobe Jack, You can eat it all for dinner, but you best just have a snack. You got mozzarella, gorgonzola, feta and gouda too, Parmesan brie and goat, and sometimes it's even blue. And if you're feeling a little tempted to take it a little far, moderate your cheddar date after you hit the bar. I'll take my advice if you please, and don't go overdosing on cheese. True tale. True tale. Careful, folks, careful. Cheese babies. Yeah, I had a cheese baby for sure. Yeah. So, part of the reason I'm here tonight with Mr. Charlie Berens is in the Northwoods, everybody. Great gadzooks. Holy moly. Big part of the reason I'm here is Charlie Berens and I came out with an album called Berens and Greuel Unthawed. Has anybody heard that record yet? Anybody? Nobody. A couple people. Right on. Well, we've got it here tonight. It's over at the merch booth. You can also find it at your local Quick Trip, which you surely have 3 or 4 of in your town. There's that section of lacrosse. It's like, quick, do you keep thinking you're driving in circles? Anyhow, so we came out with a record. Charlie is, obviously a super funny dude, but he's also a really damn good songwriter and a really, really good cat. So stoked to be hanging out with him, stoked to be here tonight. Love the heck out of Big Top. So cheers to getting together. We're doing it again. We're together. We're doing stuff. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So yeah, we were, me and Charlie, we had gone down to the Driftless region of Wisconsin. You guys know the Driftless there? Down south of La Crosse. One of the few places that's named for what it is not. We were down there and just kind of writing some new tunes together, actually, and we're getting ready to make a second album, which we're stoked on. And we got to talking, I think, about this show, and we're like, man, it sounds really fun to be a gangster. You grow up in northern Wisconsin and you hear all the stories about the Al Capones and the John Dillingers, and you guys know about the history of the Chicago gangsters in northern Wisconsin, up in Winter, Wisconsin, Little Bohemia, Is there Winter, Wisconsin fans here? Is that what that just was? Yeah. 2X Lake. Dad's like, don't tell them about my hunting spot. Anyhow, yeah, so we got to talking about that. There's the crazy side of the gangsters, the shootouts. But man, they probably partied like rock stars up here too. In fact, that's a lot of the history of it all. And so we decided we'd write a song about wanting to go on a gangster's vacation. That's what this tune is right here. I'm gonna party tonight, just like Al Capone. I'm gonna cut the phone up in Winter, Wisconsin. I'm gonna party tonight like John Dillinger. I'm gonna floor all cylinders up to Little Bohemia. I'm sick of my vocation, a gangster's vacation. Wow, 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 wow. I'm gonna party tonight just like Babyface, disappear without a trace up to old Big Top. I'm gonna party tonight just like Joe, hundreds north of Chicago, as the flies crow ho. Sick of my vocation, Gangsters vacation.
Adam Gruel, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
Gonna rob that bank with my own pen. Gas up my truck with bathtub gin. Drain my IRA just to stay another day. They'll never find us here anyway. I'm gonna party tonight just like Bugs Moran. Some folks might say I ran, and that's alright by me. I'm gonna party tonight just like Billy Frechette. Do something that I might regret. Find my getaway ride. Sick of my vocation. Gangsters vacation.
Adam Gruel, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a big round of applause. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh. You guys like that song or no, huh? Look at Al Capone up here, huh? Big cigar, bigger fishing pole. You know what they say about guys with big cigars, huh? They die of syphilis. Anyway, sorry, history jokes. Jeez Louise. Adam, how we feeling tonight, huh? Are we
Pretty
feeling
good. I like these people here. They're pretty good here.
Yeah,
huh?
I think they're pretty nice. You know, honestly, this was the first time I heard the story about Adam's cheese baby. I thought that was fantastic, you know? How did that feel? How did it feel going into the doc's office with the most Wisconsin disease possible?
You know, they said that they could either remove it surgically or they could give me this bottle of liquid that looked like it came from, like, Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman's cabinet.
And
Like
which
an old one.
you didn't take that?
No, I didn't do the surgical one, I'll tell you
You
that.
took the I'm surprised the doc didn't just come in with a big bowl of coleslaw and say, "You learn your lesson now. Never skip on the coleslaw." Jeez Louise. You know, I'm ashamed that you didn't eat enough coleslaw with your cheese, okay? So what song are we doing next, Adam?
Well, you said you wanted to revisit your past.
Oh, yeah, I did say I wanted to revisit my past. Okay. Oh, jeez Louise. That past is coming up later, okay? No, I know. We'll get to it. Don't worry. No, I do want to revisit my past here. So I don't know if any of you know this, but before I was doing comedy, I was doing music, and this is in high school. And we had a great band, or we had a band anyway. And we didn't intend on being a Grateful Dead cover band, but we only knew 2 songs, and they both happened to be by the Grateful Dead. Luckily, the Grateful Dead songs go about 45 minutes each, so we had enough for a full show. And the bassist in the band was my cousin, Tom Malloy, who's backstage. Tom Malloy, come on out. Give Tom a big round of applause. So Tom and I, we had a band, and it was called, at first it was called Your Project, like music of Your, Y-O-R-E. Tom, who came up with that?
You.
Okay, and it was a bad idea because nobody knows what the hell your means, okay? We had a lot of bad ideas back then, but some things kind of worked out. So we're going to try and play a song we used to play on stage back then. This sounds kind of in tune, doesn't it? I'm going to play the guitar. Now, listen, in typical Grateful Dead, so Jerry Garcia always forgot a lot of lyrics for obvious reasons, okay? And I was not much better at remembering them. So we're going to try and play this, but it's a little tune called Friend of the Devil, okay? And it's going to be real fun. And if I forget the lyrics, It's going to be really embarrassing because I wrote them on this piece of paper down here, okay? All right, now we're going to do the thing where we all get together and we get the rhythm right, and then we're going to sing. It's going to be awesome.
Out from Reno, I was trailed by 20 hounds. Didn't get to sleep that night till the morning came around. Set out running, but I'll take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. Ran into the devil, babe, he loaned me 20 bills. Spent the night in Utah in a cave up in the hills. Set out running, but I'll take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. Well, ran down to the levee, but the devil found me there. He took my $20 bill and it vanished in the air. Set out running, but I'll take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight. Got 2 reasons why I cry with each lonely night. First one's named Sweet Anne Marie, and she's my heart's delight. Second one's in prison, babe, with the sheriff's on my trail. And if he catches up with me, I'll spend my life in jail. Got a wife in Chino, babe, and one in Cherokee. The first one says she's got my child, but it don't look like me. Set out running, but I'll take my time. A friend of the devil is a friend of mine. I get home before daylight, I just might get some sleep tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Malloy, give him a big round of applause.
From the Big Blue Tent, high above the Big Blue Lake, you are listening to Tent Show Radio. Tent Show Radio is a production of the nonprofit Lake Superior Big Top Chautauqua, the Carnegie Hall of Tent Shows.
Welcome to Intermission, folks. I rolled up to my hometown last Friday to drop off some items for the fire department raffle. It was good to step inside the hall and smell the memories. If that sounds like a joke, it isn't. The scent was tires and canvas, all underlain with smoke. And stillness. The stillness was always my favorite part. The stillness tells us things are good right now. Were I to choose my favorite meditation space, it would be in the middle of a fire hall between calls. Everything is set, prepped, and aligned. All in order, in anticipation of disorder. Even as it implies there has been trouble before and will be trouble again, a well-ordered fire hall also implies a few of your fellow human beings have committed in advance to pitch in and fight it, mitigate it, show up when you call. This, too, sets a peaceful mood. A handful of those humans were in the hall when I arrived with the raffle goods. 14 years have passed since I last served beside my neighbors on this department, so I don't know everyone in attendance, but there were a couple with whom I have quite literally trusted my life. You see us shaking hands and goofing and leaning and yammering, and the whole thing is underlain, there's that word again, with smoke and fire and death and blood, and things you pray will never happen. Tragedy is the bonding agent. But the memories we always find our way to are the goofy ones. We may revisit a rescue, but mainly we go straight to needling each other. Last Friday was no different, and my old friends delighted in telling on me to the newcomers about the time I scorched a fire hose, the time they had to put out a fire in my thinning hair, and the time I left my radio unattended, which led to an elaborate practical joke. Rather than return my radio, they hid it. And after I went home, still unaware I'd left the radio, a member of our department called me, and impersonating a local sheriff's deputy — the statute of limitations has long since expired on that one, and frankly, the deputy would have approved. But impersonating a local sheriff's deputy, he informed me they had caught some kids broadcasting over my radio, and could I meet them down at the village park so we could sort it all out. When I arrived at the park, the firefighters who actually had my radio were waiting. But the joke took an unexpected and delightful and coincidental twist when, just as my fellow firefighting pranksters were about to reveal themselves and return my radio, a pair of sheriff's deputies drove into the park. They'd been called to address an unrelated issue, but I didn't know that. So I took a deep breath and said, "I gotta go talk to those deputies. They have my radio." Oh, how them firefighters giggled as they handed over my radio and let me in on the joke. Decades old, this prank, and yet when we relived it for the new folks last Friday, we laughed as hard as if it were unfolding in real time. The lesson here for rookies is, just because you trust someone with your life doesn't mean you should trust them with your radio. I was due at a meeting and couldn't stay long, but we did cover some ground. The fire hall is new since I left, so I've never hung my helmet there, but the scent aligns with my memory, and those goofball stories are solidly ours. And for this privilege of history, I drove away thankful. And thankful I am now to say it's time to return to the big top stage, and oh my gosh, he knows his manty from his fondy, Charlie Berens.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes into your set, Charlie, and you're already begging for applause. This is good. We're off to a good start here. So Adam and I, actually, the way this whole relationship started was we held hands, and it didn't go like that. I was actually doing a show up in Minnesota at the Mall of America, okay, because my career was really taking off at that time. So, funny story about the Mall of America. Did you know the Mall of America is so big, it can fit not one, not two, but 3 of the Viking stadiums inside the Mall of America. Can you believe that? Can fit 3 Viking stadiums inside the Mall of America, and yet not one Viking Super Bowl trophy. Can you? That's some Midwest math for you, okay? So we met up there. Adam was over at Pachyderm, and he was like, "Hey, come on by." And I came on by, and we messed around for a little bit, and then like on a song, and then we were talking about. This is where the seed for this song that we came up with called the Old Wisconsin Jubilee. Adam, get up to the mic, because I got to ask you a question here. Now, the Old Wisconsin Jubilee, we started writing it there, okay? So, and then we were in Nashville. I was doing a show in Nashville, and Adam was down there doing, I don't know what you were doing down there.
You're just throwing down.
Throwing down?
Yeah, throwing down, I think.
Yeah. And then we drank a bunch of beers, and we were like, you know what? Tomorrow we should record the Old Wisconsin Jubilee. And then we woke up in the morning, and we were like, oh, I don't know. That's kind of a weird idea. It's kind of terrible. But then what we do?
We did it. We cracked another beer.
Yeah, we had to drink a few more beers, and then we decided it was a good idea. So the thing is, we wrote this song called the Old Wisconsin Jubilee, which was the first song we recorded, and we made a music video for it, and was the inspiration for us doing this album. And it wasn't really until we put the album out that I was sitting there thinking, I was like, Adam, when you wrote Jubilee, did you mean Jamboree? Because I looked up Jubilee, and it's like a celebration of 150 years or something, and it has nothing to do with anything. Jamboree's a party, though, and I think that's the song we were supposed to write. But too late, album's recorded.
There's a fine state, where would you reside?
Right here.
Not quite to Canada.
Not quite.
Great Lakes are by her side.
Oh, Superior, you know? Yeah. Pause for the claps for Superior. We practiced this in the rehearsal.
Legend lives on from the Chippewa on down to the big...
Play it. Play the whole deal. Come on, go. Let's go.
8 verses.
I know, okay.
Great Lakes are by her side.
We got that part, honest to Pete. That was the applause break.
Home of Aldo Leopold.
Good guy.
Big Sky and Orson Welles.
Great guys.
The Steve Miller Band and lots of used up shotgun shells.
Sorry, I didn't mean to leave those there. Jeez,
when
Louise.
everyone's your neighbor, beer cheesed and fish fried.
Not too much cheese, though, you know.
And you don't just say you're leaving, you say goodbye 15 times.
Well, I suppose I better get going. Okay. Oh, you want me to see? Oh, you got a recipe. Okay, sure. All right. No, I got to go. All right, keep her moving. All right, let's go. Watch out for deer. Okie dokies. Okay, so roll out the barrel and strike up the band. Heavens praise Lombardy, the pack is back again. And on Wisconsin, the Badgers say it's the old Wisconsin Jubilee. Aw, jeepers cripes, folks. Listen to this solo. Holy cats, I need a bubbler. I'm parched.
Well, everything's bigger in Texas, but look, you can't catch a perch on a 5-inch hook.
It's a small wiener joke.
But I'm no stranger to Tennessee whiskey. Yeah, my old fashions got Wisconsin brandy. Pacific Coast got sun for days, but California's dreaming of Superior's waves.
Yeah, it's more of a drunken venison meat sweats kind of dreaming, but you know, that's what happens when you forget to snort the Tums before you go to bed. Okie dokes? So roll out the barrel and strike up the band. Heavens praise Lombardy, the pack is back again. And on Wisconsin, the Badgers say it's the old Wisconsin Jubilee.
Jamboree.
Yeah, Jamboree. Let's just change it now, honest to Pete. Jeepers cripes, I like it. Okie dogs.
I took my fishing pole to Winnebago.
The fish they says weren't biting. I just says and so.
Don't matter if I cast 150 times. Don't matter if I miss 10 walleyes.
Actually, that does matter, if I'm being honest with you.
They ask me why I go, and I says because...
Well, I'm guaranteed to catch a big beer buzz. And you know, folks, Grandpa Bob always said to me, he said, stock your tackle box with a couple 2-tree beers. And by a couple 2-tree men, a couple 2-tree 10, okay? So roll out the barrel, then strike up the band. Heavens praise Lombardy, the pack is back again. And on Wisconsin, the Badgers say it's the old Wisconsin Jubilee. Oh, jeez. You know, folks, you ever go to the Brewers game and watch them unthawed brats run around the thing? I always say put your money on the brat or Frankie Furter, okay? Honest to Pete, if I'm being real with you.
When it all goes to hell, and I need
Heck,
my head
my mom's
right.
here.
When it all goes to heck.
Thank you.
Mine too. When it all
Jeez
goes
Louise.
when it doesn't go well, and I need my head right, I go to where there ain't no stop and go lights. But I got no desire for the 5-star resort.
Got a cousin with a cabin way up north. He's right there.
Give it up for Tom, everybody. When it's cold in the winter, I'll drink beer or tree. When the snow unthaws, you can bet I'll drop a ski.
Hey there, Uncle Mike, can I drop a ski or no, guy? Too late, I already dropped her. That was rhetorical. Oh my gosh, jeepers cripes, holy smokes. Can I crack this beer or no? Okay, yeah, keep her moving.
So
roll out the barrel and strike up the band. Heavens praise Lombardy, the pack is back again. And on Wisconsin, the Badgers say it's the old Wisconsin Jubilee. It's the old Wisconsin Jubilee. It's the old Wisconsin Jubilee. Oh, he switched it. Adam Gruel, ladies and gentlemen, give him a big round of applause. Give him a big round of applause. Thanks, Adam. I appreciate that. That was really good. Yeah. Don't eat too much cheese. I'll take this if you want. Okay, there you go. Jeepers cripes. How are we doing out here, babe? Give Adam Gruel a big round of applause one more time. And my cousin, Tommy Malloy. Give him a big round of applause. Oh, boy. So it's a bad time to have a cough these days, you know? You can't just walk around with a cough, can you? You know, people are giving you that look like, do you have the Delta? I'm like, all I got is Delta 8, okay? Be careful if you're laughing. Everybody will know, okay? No, it's a bad time to have a cough. It is. Okay, I had a cough. Okay, I did. And don't get the wrong impression. I've had the COVID test. Okay, I had a bunch of tests. All right, and I even got the shots. Okay, yes, I got the shots. All right. I got both shots, so Bill Gates knows exactly how many Fleet Farms I've been to, and it's a little embarrassing, okay? So I got those going, okay? But it's tough, you know? You walk into a Walgreens, you do a little, you know, and then you got to explain everything I just explained to you to someone in the, you know, women's products line at Walgreens, and they're like, why are you in this aisle? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm just trying to go to an aisle no one's in to have a cough, and then I try the Bill Gates joke. It doesn't go over well. She's like, you know, I don't understand what that means. And it's a tough thing. But anyway, it's nice to be out of the whole COVID situation. There are some things that we didn't do in COVID that, you know, I could go without, you know? Handshakes for one, you know? And now, look, I'm not saying all handshakes. I like a good handshake, you know, just as much as the next fella or lady or whatever. And but the thing is some people shake hands. When they shake your hand, they really crush your hand. You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, I get it. Okay, you found the little squeezy things at the gym. All right, I don't know where those are. Okay. You know, same guys who have like the really strong handshake are kind of the guys who do the little things with the weights to make their forearms bigger. You know. These jokes aren't working at Big Top, Adam. I told you they weren't going to work. So how many of you have seen a show before? A lot of repeat customers, okay? That's nice. So if you've seen it once, you've seen it all the times you need to, based on those applause. So, all right, well, I'll catch everybody up on the deal. So I don't know if you know this, but I grew up with a pretty thick Wisconsin accent, so... Yeah, and I didn't know I had a Wisconsin accent really until Siri came out, you know? Where I was like, hey there, Siri, how you doing? Hey, tell your folks I says hi. Listen, I'm thinking I gotta go to the Fleet Farm in Oconomowoc, okay? If you could give me directions, that would be great, but I know you got a lot of other iPhone users, so you can get to me last, okay? And while you're out there, Siri, do watch out for dialing 911. You are having a stroke. So that was the first time I had a hint that I had a Wisconsin accent. But I didn't know for sure I had a Wisconsin accent until I went to school for broadcast journalism, okay? Now, at the time, I thought I was going to be like the next Brian Williams. You know? Why are you laughing? Oh, please, hold your applause for Brian Williams to the end of the show, okay? I'm talking Brian Williams back before he got caught lying about that whole helicopter situation in Iraq, okay? You know, where he was like, I got shot down in a helicopter in Iraq. And then the guy who got shot down in the helicopter in Iraq was like, the hell you did, Brian? And then he got canceled. Do you remember those days when you could get canceled just for lying? I know, now it's a prerequisite to become president, but and I didn't say which president, okay? So we can all laugh at that. Especially with that Trump hat you brought me, you know, that guy, if anybody's lying, that guy's, anyway. You know, I wanted to be the next Brian Williams. But isn't that amazing? He gets canceled for lying. And now, of course, he's got his job back because we're like, you know what? At least he's not Matt Lauer. Give him his job back. Jeez Louise. But, yeah, so I wanted to be the next Brian Williams. And I had this professor who had one of those golden NPR voices. You know, if you've listened to NPR, you know it. You know the voice. From NPR News in Washington, I'm gonna judge your sorry ass. And we had this assignment to do these anchor reads, and I was staying up all night long working on just 2 sentences that I was gonna bring in the next day. And so I did that. I stayed up all night perfecting this anchor read I was going to do. I come in, I give it to the guy behind the teleprompter. I go and I sit at the anchor desk, and I am ready. I feel it. I visualized it. I'm waiting for my countdown. 3, 2, 1. Jesus. please. Okay. Okay, I can do this. Okay. Oh, jeepers, cripes, the cap and everything. In Menasha today, police pulled over a man from Ashwaubenon for not stopping at the stop-and-go light. Police arrested the man for having weapons in his bag. No. He was not clapping. He was not laughing. He just sat there huffing and puffing. And he was like, he had the look on this face like, you know, like he had just found fresh hemorrhoid, you know? Some of you know what I mean. And he was like, Charlie, has anybody ever told you that you have a voice for print? And I look up at him. I'm like, is he making fun of me? And then to make his point even more clear, he walks over to the window and he looks outside the window and he goes, I can see your whole career right in front of my eyes. He was looking at the guy trimming the hedges. So I was like, okay, I get it. Okay, I took his emotional abuse for about another day, and then I went and I got a voice coach. Because he said I would have no future in this business if I didn't get a voice coach. So fine, I got a voice coach. Someone to make me talk like I wasn't from where I love to be from, which was kind of a weird thing. Thank you for that one. You've had brandy. I love it. So I got a voice coach. But the thing about getting a voice coach is you can train the voice coming out of your mouth to sound like you're from wherever, but you can never change the voice in your head. Jeepers cripes, no you can't. I've been here the whole time, folks, never went nowhere. Tell them about the time we went to the Apple store. No, that story's terrible. I'm not going to tell them about it. Fine, I will. So we go to the Apple store, right? And you know how they have that Genius bar? Okay, this story always bombs. I don't know why you're doing it. It's going to be hilarious. So we get to the Genius bar, and I give them my laptop. And then I'm looking around, and I says, if you're such a bunch of geniuses, why don't you serve beer at your bar? See, they liked it. They liked it. Those are polite applause, actually. They did not like it. They feel sorry for you. Well, I don't shoot. Yeah, that's true. So anyway, that's the deal. You can't ever get rid of that voice in your head. And that was the problem I was having in the journalism business. I did it all around the country. You know, I did it, so I was in South Carolina and then like D.C. and I was in Dallas, okay? And I was in Dallas and it was a very hot day in Dallas and I was anchoring the news, okay? And now the thing is we say some things in Wisconsin. I don't know up here, if you're thirsty, where do you go? Bubbler, the bar. I love that answer. That's a true Wisconsinite right there. The other true Wisconsinite will say a bubbler. Okay, a bubbler. Because and it's more of a southeastern Wisconsin thing. That's sort of the epicenter of it. Bubbler, I don't know. Kohler made a bubbler, I don't know. And that's what people call something you drink out of. You know, some people call it, what? What do other people call it? A water fountain. Yeah, okay, I'm not going to a water fountain when I want to drink water. When I go to a water fountain, I'm going there because I want change for the meter, okay? So, but the thing is, outside of Wisconsin, they don't think a bubbler is a device you use to drink water. They think a bubbler is a device you use to smoke the devil's lettuce. I didn't know that. Okay? And be careful how loud you laugh at that. People are gonna know, okay? It's not legal here yet. You gotta go about 100 miles that way. Good, claps for that, perfect. So it's the evening news, right? It was a super hot day, a dangerously hot day, heat index of 121 or something. I don't know how that worked. I was terrible at my job, but I was trying to help people. I was like, everybody stay inside today and find yourself a bubbler. Good night. Now, I think I did an amazing job, and the next day I walk in and my boss is like, Charlie, come here, have a seat. I'm like, okay. good ratings last night, for the wrong reason. Do you realize you told the entire DFW area to stay at home and smoke weed? What was up with that? I was like, no, a bubbler where I come from is, a device used to drink water, and she wasn't having that. And that was one of many things. By the way, with that whole deal, the worst part about that whole weed situation is some states it's legal, other states it's not. Like, you can go to Dallas, you can ask to use a bubbler, all you're gonna get is arrested, okay? But if you go to Colorado and ask to use a bubbler, all you're gonna get is hungry, But, there are a bunch of things like that. There are a bunch of things. And so it was after that day, actually, that I said the whole bubbler thing in Dallas that I was like, you know what? Maybe this news thing isn't for me, okay? And that was a good realization to have because it changed my career, okay? So I sat down and I turned on the TV, and one of the greatest movies of all time was on. And you already got a sneak peek of it, but here it is again, not that, this. Titanic, because Jack Dawson is from? He's from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, okay? And yes. But why doesn't he sound like he's from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin? Okay? So you could understand him, okay, but it's not an accurate movie, And so, Leo, he was upset that he didn't get the Oscar. Well, Leo, if you just spoke like you were from Wisconsin, maybe you would have gotten the Oscar. And so I wanted to show Leo what an accurate portrayal of Wisconsin would have been, so I decided to make this.
You ever been to Wisconsin? Home of the Packers, Miller High Life Light, the champagne of beers?
What?
Well, they have some of the coldest winters around. Grew up there near Chippewa Falls. I remember when I was a kid. Me and my father. We went ice fishing up there on Lake Wissota. Caught some walleyes. Ice fishing is, where you...
I know what ice fishing is.
Sorry. You just seem like, kind of an Illinois girl. Anyway, I fell through some thin ice there. And I'm telling ya, water that cold, like right down there, shrinkage, like Brett Favre when he texted a picture of his little cheese head, or worse yet. Which is why I'm not looking forward to jumping in there after ya. Aw, cheese Louise, heck no.
Thank you. So I put that video out, and that was the first thing that did good, that I was like, oh my gosh, well, maybe there's something here. So I was like, I know what I got to do. I got to do a sequel, and although I felt bad because like the Titanic never got a sequel, but I got over that. So here you go.
Are you of the Boston Dawsons?
No, the Chippewa Falls Dawsons, actually.
Oh, yes.
Now, you gotta be honest with me. Are you scared of a 6-foot badger?
I'm not.
What if I told you wore a shirt but no pants?
I trust you.
Open your eyes real quick once. Can you tell me what you're doing here, Rose?
I'm flying. Jack.
Flying? Heck no, Rose. You're saying unsportsmanlike conduct. On the Bears. 15-yard penalty. Go Packers. Up in the barn. Here comes Jack's tractor. Hey, Ross. You know what Wisconsin kind of looks like? Yeah, a hand. How'd you know? That was better than cheese.
You would have let go too. But that's the real thing here, right? Because this is how this movie ended. Don't forget that. And it was a whole romantic movie, and Jack and Rose spent the whole time fornicating and whatnot, and they were in love after only 3 days or whatever. But it ends with Jack in the water, about to become a Jacksicle, and Rose on this board. And if you look at that board, there is mathematically enough room on that board for Rose plus Jack plus 5 Serta mattresses, okay? So why did Rose not let Jack on that board? And the whole thing doesn't make sense, okay? But it would have made sense if Jack was talking like he was from Wisconsin. See, here's how this scene goes. It's Rose on the board, and she's like, Jack, I'm so cold, Jack. And then Jack goes, Rose, I love you. Don't ever let go. So sweet, right? But then she pries his cold, dead hand off that board and drops his ass to the bottom of the deep blue sea. Makes no sense. The thing that would have gotten Leo the Oscar, again, is if he just acted like he was from Wisconsin and begin that scene. Jack, I'm so cold, Jack. Oh, hey there, Rose. Listen, I lack the emotional capacity to tell you I love you, so I'm just going to tell you to watch out for deer, okay? And you do it, you might be thinking, Jack, you're a silly goose. There are no deer out here in the middle of the Atlantic. Well, I seen a deer cross Lake Wissota, which actually technically hasn't been a lake yet, but that's where I live in terms of the script. I've seen a deer cross the entire thing, and it is rutting season, okay? And don't believe you me, a deer might go all the way to Ireland from America just to find the right mate to mount. So promise you that. And then, Rose, why are you letting me go? Rose, why are you dropping me in the bottom of the deep blue sea? And then, if we can lower the lights, if that's possible, you can see this board. And this is Jack's last vision before dying, officially. And he sees that board illuminated by the moonlight in the Atlantic. And he sees for the first time, now it all makes sense. Because the board, out of all the boards in the Atlantic, Rose chose. She chose the board shaped like the state of Illinois. And now it all makes sense, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so perfect. Now we've got that cleared up.
Charlie Berens. He knows us cheddarheads better than we know ourselves.
From the top of Wisconsin, Tent Show Radio is a production of the nonprofit Lake Superior Big Top Chautauqua. Funding support for Tent Show Radio is provided by the Bayfield Inn. With 21 hotel rooms, over 25 vacation rentals, a lounge, on-site restaurant, and rooftop bar, there's something for you at the Bayfield Inn. More info at bayfieldinn.com. And by the Bayfield Chamber of Commerce, beautiful Bayfield and the Apostle Islands. You can tour sea caves and shop our galleries and stores on the shores of Lake Superior. Info and lodging at bayfield.org. And by the Cable Chamber of Commerce, Cable, Wisconsin, the gateway to Bayfield County, where world-class trails, forests, lakes, and adventure await. Visit cableforfun.com. That's cable, the number 4, FUN.com. You know, if it wasn't for you, this would have been a rehearsal.
Well, folks, that's our show for tonight. Whether you beam it or stream it, we thank you for listening. We're as grateful as a guy who gets to hang out down to the fire hall. We'd love it if you come on up Bayfield Way or down or over or True for a live show one day. Details always available at bigtop.org. You can visit me anytime at sneezingcow.com. Until next we share the air, remember, where I come from and here at Tent Show Radio, nobody ever says goodbye. They just say, well, I suppose.